Is the camera on this time?
Yeah, the camera's on this time. Hey everyone, happy Monday to you. This recording is actually before the 7 o'clock game in Chicago on Sunday, so we won't be talking about that today, as we haven't seen it yet. It's in the future, but we'll definitely cover that next week. And I guess we'll just jump right into it.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, we'll talk about basically what happened, for the Red Wings this week.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was a good week for them. I mean, they went 2-1.
A winning record for the week.
Yeah, for the week. That's more than we usually get, so I'll take it. It didn't start real well. We we lost shutout 2-0 to Nashville, and basically we lost on special teams, 2 goals on the power play against, so 2 goals.
Bernie played good enough to win for us on that one.
I mean he hadn't,
special teams is awful
until Saturday night. He hadn't let in basically a regulation goal, and I think it was like, I don't know, I don't remember how many periods, but it was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
he's been really good for us. So yeah, you like to see him come back on, Thursday with that 5-2 win against Nashville, and really Rene kind of gave us a gift there.
Well, that one goal, I think it was a shot. It wasn't even a slap shot. I think it was a wrist shot. He just blockered it off, and then a guy came in and swept it up, and then he let it. That was when that's when it all kind of came tumbling down.
Came off the rails for sure. But Rene wasn't good in that game for him.
Did he shut us out? He shut us out the other night too.
Yeah, he was in for the shutout. Man. So I mean, we kind of got him back there, but it was a gift of a win. You have to say, we were due one though. I mean,
we were due for a couple breaks in that game.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had the breaks that you'd hope for. Obviously, we don't help ourselves most of the time, but yeah.
Gagne with the hat trick.
Ernie
with the backhand. Glennie with the backhand. That was it, right?
Yeah, that was it. That was 5 goals.
Okay.
Yeah, one of Gagne's was the empty netter just to seal it off. That was a pretty good shot for the empty netter.
It was a no look.
Yeah, it was.
It's a no look.
So I'll take it. I'll take
whatever, man.
Bad goal play against. I don't care. I'll take the win. The Wings will take the win. And moving on. But then they followed it up Saturday versus Chicago. They didn't have Larkin, so
upper body, day to day.
Yeah,
per usual.
Yeah,
day to day.
We'll get into that in a minute. But I think on Saturday, even without Larkin, the team played well.
It was overall a good game.
They found the right defensive pairs, I think, finally. You've seen, Hronek with DeKaiser. You've seen Stahl with Merrill. And both of those pairs played very well.
Yeah.
So I don't think they should be breaking that up. When Stetcher comes back, I think, we'll get that third pair really shored up. Maybe have something going, because Juice and Nemeth really, I mean, it was brutal to watch.
Even though Juice got the goal, it was brutal to watch.
Yeah.
Massive liability. Liability line.
You had the goal where Janmark just walked between both of them in the slot, let him right by, didn't nudge him.
No. Merrill did that too. I forget, DeBrincat, I think it was the kid that came through last time.
Yeah.
The last time we played Chicago.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, this was just, whatever. But it was every time they were out there, it seemed like they were just, poor play. You had on the first goal against, Juice lost his guy. And then on the last play against, they weren't, it was only a couple seconds left in the game, obviously. So it wasn't like it was, the game was sealed, but you want them to hopefully, try out there for Bernier.
Yeah.
And, they just kind of left Bernier to dry on a shot that rebounded off the glass, came back out, and it was just nothing Bernier could do on the third goal either.
Right.
So, those happened. And then the other thing that, happened Saturday night, we got to see Evgeny Svechnikov for the first time this year in a Red Wings jersey. I think it's his 7th NHL game. It might be his 8th. I'm not sure. But
I thought he played fantastic. Both sides.
I didn't see anything there that I wasn't happy about.
Well, Blash wanted energy from him, but we got that. Got the breakaway, stop, did what you're supposed to on a breakaway, do your move, but at least stop, and he got the follow-up on the rebound there.
Yeah, the breakaway attempt probably wasn't the best. He got in a little too close and tried to go 5-hole. But he kept with it. He kept with the play, kept at the net, and it worked out for him. He put it in cross ice. I don't know if Nielsen took that last shot where he put it in. And then he followed up with an assist on a Nielsen goal, which, the assist was better than the goal, far and away.
Oh, yeah, that was an ugly goal.
He, protected the puck off 2 defensemen, drove the net after getting past the defenseman, and made a really nice slick kind of backhand move to Nielsen, who put it in. Chicago might have wanted that goal back, but hey, it went in. Something's going our way. I'll take it.
Finally, yeah, absolutely. I think I think I'll plug that. I mean, I was listening to the interview with Helene St. James, and she kind of put the screws to Blash a little bit on Svechnikov. Like, what are we doing here, basically? And it was like 3 back-to-back questions, and he was frustrated. You could tell it in his eyes, and he pretty much put the ball in Svech's court, and I think he followed it up well.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of the issue with whatever this is right here with our pipeline is based on this coaching right here. So I mean, it was refreshing to see Helene St. James do that, because we don't really get that from
we don't get a lot of direct
media here.
Pointed questions from the media in Detroit. It's usually a lot of softballs. And
I'll tell you what though, Max Boltman from The Athletic, actually I kind of exchanged with him a little bit, and when they put the helm up at the top line with Larkin and I don't know, Larkin and Mantha, what the heck's going on here? I guess he said they liked the look of it. I think that was one of the
like the look.
They liked the look, and there's nothing to look at there because it was just the most off the wall. And then I kind of pushed him on it to see what are you talking about, basically. And he said, he goes, I don't condone it. I don't endorse it. So I'm just reporting. I'm like, that's honesty right there.
But I've always been pulling for Svech. I like this draft pick. I think he was 19th overall off the top of my head. I'm not sure. It was a Ken Holland pick. And, he was a good junior scorer. His debut in the AHL was also good. I think he had, I got it here. He had 20 goals, 51 points, AHL debut. So, he has the skill.
Talent's there.
The talent's there, but the injuries have just, been brutal to this kid. He sat out all of 18-19, and then he had to come back, try to recondition, get back going, last year.
Right.
And then short year, kind of, didn't go great. And then, he came into camp this year trying to, have a shot. And, he didn't make the team, got injured in training camp, shoulder injury. So nothing really worked for the guy, and incredibly hard worker, put on a ton of strength.
He's a big kid now. When
he was off that whole year, just in the weight room all the time, working on what he could. And he puts in the effort. I'm sure your brother being an NHL star kind of has to weigh on him, but
well, I mean,
I want the best for him.
I do too. I mean, it's a good ped. He's coming from a good pedigree. I mean, I think his brother is a fantastic goal scorer, but I do think physically he's the most gifted out of the two. It's just unfortunate with the injuries, like you said. It's one of those things where the conditioning's the hardest part.
Yeah.
About getting back. It's if you're going to play 10 minutes at 30, 45 second shifts, it's you're huffing and puffing if you're pushing it, Yeah. So I can see where that can be a problem. At the same time, though, it's you've got to get him reps at this level. Like, if you're going to make a move with him, you have to give him reps.
Yeah, sitting doesn't help in any way. Trade form,
you can ride
nothing.
You can ride an assault bike for 20 miles. You have to let him get reps. And the same thing with Rass, which is down the line. But I mean, if these guys are going to be making NHL decisions, like, you have to put him on the fourth line and sink or swim right there.
Yeah, he's definitely at the time. I was glad they didn't put him on the fourth line. They put him out there, Phil and Nielsen, and that kind of worked for him.
And Nielsen had good things to say about him too. He said he's got one of the best shots on the team.
Yeah,
and if he puts his mind to it, the kid's going to be up. So I mean, there you go. I know they believe. Listen, if it comes from the players, wholeheartedly, 100% believe it. Now, coming from whatever the coaching, it's cause for question, to say the least. So I do feel like he is NHL caliber, and I do think he can be somewhat of an elite player. It's just going to be reps.
I think I always like the kid. Like I said, I'm a big fan. I think he's probably a good bottom six player.
Okay.
Like, he'd be a very good third line wing, right center. Maybe you got Veleno with him someday. Who knows?
Shoot, man, I forgot he was in the pipeline.
Oh yeah,
nobody hears about him anymore. It's
don't
about
hate
Raymond
on Veleno, man. I like Veleno.
I do too.
So, but we did get to see Svech.
Yep.
Saturday night. That was fun. We got to see him in part because Larkin was out. So, he's going to miss the whole weekend. We don't have any report on when Larkin's going to be back in the lineup. Just that he didn't make the trip. Upper body. We think it was the hand from the Nashville game on Thursday night. He came back after it, but obviously that they assessed it.
No reason to push it this year, really. I mean,
yeah, I think that's a fair point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, it's not worth it. Reported day to day. We don't so they didn't have a timeline. So
right.
You don't like seeing Larkin out, but I think the team played well without him.
Do too. I think it's one of those things. Larkin needs to get going. I mean, we need his goal scoring. Period. Maybe not this year, obviously. Next year, but these years leading up to where we're going to start being a fringe team, like that, we're going to need some big goals. Whether he's facilitating it or scoring them, we do need some big goals.
Yeah, but, and kind of his play lately has been a little bit, maybe, I'm not going to call it selfish, but it's been narrow-minded maybe. It's low percentage. It's not great. So maybe sitting for a couple days, he kind of gets it back, takes some look at some film.
Agreed. Totally agree. I mean, film, obviously, and then move him to a wing for a time being. Fabry's playing fantastic right now. Move him to the wing. Let him find the scoring touch again. And then gradually introduce him back on the power play to the center or whatever, penalty kill or something. Get something going. He needs to get going. And I think what's happening right now is just a mental game for him. Completely mental.
Yeah, I mean, you have to appreciate the strides he's made defensively, because I think he's been great defensively this year.
Yes.
But we need his offense on a team that, just it's a desert of offense, as it is.
It's just nuts to believe, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say you want Dylan Larkin out of the lineup. You absolutely have to have him in the lineup. He's maybe the best player on this team. Probably right now he is. So, yeah, we need him to come back, but we need him to play. Yeah, offensively, we need something from him.
Right.
The Red Wings do, and that's, kind of how... That's what I see. Hopefully he comes back within a couple days, though. Hopefully he's not out for weeks.
I think they're off tomorrow and Monday, right? Or Monday and Tuesday, right?
Yeah, I believe they're off Monday and Tuesday. I think they play Wednesday.
Come back Wednesday. Yeah, so he'll be. I think he'll be back Wednesday if it's the hand or shoulder, whatever it is, whatever the upper body injury is.
Yeah, for the Wings, they need it.
Absolutely.
And then we got to see Svech play, which was fun. But from the Red Wings perspective, or at least from the fan base perspective, there's been a lot of frustration this year that we still aren't seeing the rookies, the kids, the prospects.
Even though they're taxi squatted the next day, and we don't see them for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, that like Giovanni Smith sent down to Grand Rapids after playing, pretty much doing what he could, and I think he did it pretty well.
What he was they probably got more out of him than what they expected. They probably told him, go in there, throw your body around. That's pretty much it. And he comes in and scores a goal and assist.
Yeah, he had a goal and assist. He had the Gordie Howe hat trick, the one fight or the one game against Florida. He fought Ekblad after Ekblad made a questionable hit on Larkin, stood up for Larkin, basically ragdolled Ekblad. I thought it was a great fight on Smith's part.
Yeah.
And he did. I mean, really, all you could ask from a guy with Smith's pedigree, right? I mean, he's generally been looked at as for the fan base as he's a good fourth liner someday, physical, grindy, But I mean, really, he showed he has speed. He's got some hands. He's got, some good hockey IQ. He made a great play with Zadina for a goal, for one of his assists. It might have been that same game. I don't remember.
Was he playing with Zadina down in Grand Rapids?
I don't know that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out. Just kind of seeing what the lines will probably look like with him in it from now on.
Yeah, I don't follow Grand Rapids that close to know what the lines are. But yeah, so then he had half a point a game in the NHL, and you set him down. So maybe they're trying to shield him. I don't know. Another guy you got out there, you got Juice playing. I think a lot of the fan base feels that you get the same thing out of Cholowski. You might get even more offense out of Cholowski.
Right.
Defensive liability, sure. But I think in Grand Rapids, as of this afternoon, he was 9 points in 7 games in the AHL.
I think you'd be stupid not to bring him up at this point. Just kind of put him on the PP2 and...
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping after the deadline, maybe we move some defense. That's kind of their idea, that you got this kid a bunch of reps, and hopefully he's come along enough to come up and play.
Right.
Because we should have some defense being moved out. We got enough pending UFA defensemen, and defensive depth is always wanted at the deadline. Another guy, obviously Svech was one of the guys that I always want up, so I was really happy to see him. And then you got Rasmussen, who was up, got sent down. A lot of the fan base didn't like that. A lot of the fan base, I think, thought that he played good enough to be up.
Well, I think we gotta give these guys reps. Like face-offs, it's different. It's completely different. AHL to NHL. It's from 5 to 10 when it comes to speed, decision making. I mean, you got to give these guys reps. Even if it's in practice, giving them reps against the first line, whatever you got to do. I mean, maybe there's a plan there next year where he's up full time with Smith and Svech, and I mean that would make sense, right? Next year.
Well, next year he would have to pass through waivers, so yeah, they have to make that decision. I don't think you can get Rasmussen through waivers. I think someone would take a shot.
Oh, for sure.
Big cheap center prospect. This is the one guy I actually think that I was okay with going down. When he was up, the decision making was always like maybe just a second too late.
Sure.
And he just didn't have it. It was tentative. You seen him kind of get into the board battles, and he was, wasn't sure where he wanted to be, what he wanted to do, if he was going to make a hit. But then you've seen a couple times where he, the decision making was on. He made a big hit, or he did something, and it was a great play, so it worked out for him.
It's like a big golden retriever puppy. He just doesn't know how to run his body yet. He hasn't grown into it, but I think he will. I think that was a good draft pick. I think he's going to be a good center. I do. Okay. I do. I think his net front presence is going to be massive because that's his spot. That's where it is. So, I mean, I don't know what I'll be honest with you. I haven't really looked at his skating too much to see what that looks like. I mean, all these guys are good skaters, but I mean, you can tell there's a difference working on edge work and whatnot, but I'd have to see the skating to know what that's going to look like.
I wasn't a huge fan of that draft pick. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I've talked about it enough on the website, other places that I just wasn't huge on it. We talked about this a second ago. Maybe trade deadline affects Cholowski's availability to the NHL. And we have a lot of trade deadline guys out there, who could generate some interest. We have a ton of pending UFAs. You've got Helm, you've got Filppula, Glendening, Ryan, Gagne. I have to look at the list just because there's just too many. Stahl, Nemeth, Merrill, Biega, and Bernier are all pending UFAs this year.
Who's the best out of the group? Who would you say?
Man, it's tough. I'm either going to go my top. I'll give you a top three because they're all for, I think if you're going to look at defensemen, I think it's Stahl. That's a guy who's been there, physical guy. And lately he's been playing great for us.
Offense has been there, right?
The offense has been there. Defensively, he's been very good. He's making, the right calls. Maybe he wasn't very well conditioned coming into the year because I think early on
he was hurt last year, wasn't he?
I don't know that, to be honest with you. I'm not sure, but he just looked slow. He looked like he kept getting beaten if it wasn't for his positioning. And I didn't even say the positioning when it's good and the hockey IQ's there, but the body wasn't there.
Sure.
And lately, the body has been there. He's been playing very well. So I think from a defensive standpoint, he's probably our best. If you could get another second out of that, I think you get 2 seconds from that trade, that'd be fantastic.
Didn't he have a bunch of concussion issues too?
I don't know. I've never really followed him.
I don't know if you get a second out of him. Maybe if you package him with another defenseman, 2 defensemen over there, maybe get some relief there. But I mean,
yeah, then you got to worry about teams taking on cap and that kind of thing too. So it kind of gets tough. I mean, obviously we could retain. I'm not sure if we have a retained transaction out there right now or not.
Just the buyouts, right? Applicator.
Yeah, you got Applicator.
Weiss is last year.
Is this the last year for Weiss?
Jesus.
Yeah, it's been a long
last year.
That's a long time. Other guy I think could get some is Glendening.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we all make fun of Glendening in some way, shape, or form. There are some hardcore Glendening fans out there, though. I know at least one, and he's actually put the offense in this year. Usually, I mean, he went 40 games without a point or something like that, but he's got 8 now.
It's Riley Sharon territory.
Yeah, thankfully it wasn't that bad. But, he's leading the NHL in faceoff percentage right now, and that's huge in the playoffs. His defensively has been pretty good. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he's been chipping in offensively. So I think there will definitely be people calling about Luke Glendening. I don't know what you get. Maybe you get a third for him.
So
maybe there's a bidding
a second for Stahl and a third from Glendening.
Yeah, I think any of these guys are kind of second, third territory, just depending on how many people want them.
Well, this draft next year is not going to be very deep, is it?
Well, that's the other thing. I think that if you're talking about 2021 draft picks, they might not be that worried about giving away seconds. I don't know. Then the third guy, I think, we've covered defenseman, we've covered Glendening, and then I think Bernier. I think Bernier could generate some serious interest for teams that, they don't have a great backup right now because of the cap crunch.
Well, a lot of goalie speculation out there. This was like the year of the goalie too. It just sucks that it was during COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's going to be an interesting one. I mean, the contenders right now, Maple Leafs don't need a goalie right now because they score too many goals. So I mean, they just need someone to stop the puck.
It dries up in the playoffs though.
It does. No, it does. But
put the whistles away. You don't have the power plays. You don't.
I don't know. I mean, Matthews scoring at an alarming pace. Maybe Edmonton comes knocking.
Oh, Kenny.
That would make sense. That makes sense to you. Wouldn't that make sense to you? Guy comes in 9-10, 9-18 save percentage on that team.
I mean, you got people like them, maybe the Caps. They just got what's his name in the Samsonov just came off, so he played.
Lundqvist is coming back. Okay, so he had that heart surgery, but he's already back on the ice rehabbing.
Yeah, that seems kind of risky.
Yeah,
but I think Bernier, another guy, Ryan, just because.
Sure.
I mean, he could.
Obvious reasons. He's going to contribute any way possible.
Yeah, so he's a good player. I don't think the rest of them, Biega, Nemeth. I think Helm doesn't get a whole lot just because his offense has dropped off so much. And I'm a huge Darren Helm fan.
He scored the other night too, didn't he?
Yeah, he got a goal.
It was a pretty sick goal too.
Yeah, it was a nice goal. That was basically on the goalie though too. Just he was trying to like hug the post for dear life and let the net open.
There's 2 guys behind the net, and then he got
3 guys behind the net.
Was there?
Yeah, Chicago blew that play real hard.
For sure.
Yeah, I think we'll get a few assets. If we can trade, I've said if we can trade 3 of these guys for seconds or thirds, I'll be happy.
It's like oil, man. Picks are like oil. You need them.
Yeah,
you just need it.
And then I'm gonna kind of maybe round the video out on a down note. Let's talk about Mantha.
Sure.
And Mantha has not. Man, he's just been off. He's just
thumbs off there. And I've said this from the get go. Anybody that's talked to me about it, I wholeheartedly 100% believe that this is a coaching issue. It's not, maybe he's not getting the right coaching. I don't know what kind of mind games are being played there, but it just seems like the people that I've talked to on YouTube, just kind of back and forth, people that obviously are not, up at high, no sources, should I say. But I really do think Blashill has a Mantha problem and Mantha has a Blashill problem. And I think it's one of those things. Mantha plays well when he's energized, when he's mad. And when, I don't know, like the last time I saw the fire in him was the against Calgary when he had Hamonic in the benches basically down the down the tunnel.
Yeah,
and I mean,
I remember that.
I love seeing that. I love seeing that because I love physical play, but at the same time, I think he went. I don't know. I'd have to look at the stats, but I'm pretty sure he went off. Those next couple games.
Yeah, he did. He was really good after that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's just the system. It's kind of stifling what he does.
What's he, 6'5"? 6'5", 220, 225?
230-ish.
WWF wrestler.
Yeah, he's massive.
Playing.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, everything about him is declined. Even over last year when we were terrible, it's declined.
Right.
The only thing that hasn't really, I mean, his possession stats are still really good. I think he's at nearly 55% Corsi on the year. So he's the shots when he's on the ice are obviously controlled by the Red Wings, which is what you want to see. But the actual offensive statistics for him are way down. I think he's down like 0.3 assists per game, and it's just not looking good for him. The bad thing is, like, if it is a coaching problem, what happens if you keep Blashill?
You move Mantha. That it's either one or the other, and I think Stevie made his point clear when he signed Mantha.
That Blash was
Blashill is the odd man out there, and I think that there is, if they bring that guy back, between 2 things: the frustration on the prospects pipeline and Blashill. If they don't fix one of those 2 things, which one I think fixes the other, if they don't fix one of those 2 things, this fan base is going to just combust.
Yeah, I don't think the fan base. Obviously, I think the fan base. There's a lot of questions about the coaching. There's a couple other that say it's just the lineup, and I don't believe that.
Who makes the lineup? It's coaching, right?
Well, I mean, just the players available. But at the same time, like, these guys were better, and now they've gotten worse. There's no real development happening.
We've seen what they play, how they play when they're good. When Detroit's on,
yeah,
they play well, and it was very evident against Chicago. That Chicago team's no joke. They're young, they're fast, and they've got something to look forward to. But with that being said, it's okay. Now we need to get somebody in here. It's going to give them structure, and 2 is going to let the kids play within that structure. And Mickey said it, and he said it a couple games ago when we talked about it. It's the most frustrating part about this team is the coaching, power play, all the way down to, video coach, whatever. It's just something needs to change there.
Yeah, something's got to change there one way or the other. The problem with Mantha and trading Mantha, though, now is when you're on decline, you're not getting the assets for him you need.
Oh, he's going to ask for a trade regardless. If they sign Blash to a 3 or 4 year term, he's gone.
You think he's gone?
That's the next call.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, dead serious.
All right. Hopefully Mantha gets better. We need him.
Yeah.
Hopefully Bertuzzi gets healthy. We need him too.
He's going to be day to day for another 4 to 6, right?
Yeah. I'm saying that from like a viewership perspective. That when those guys are good, it's fun to watch.
Oh,
the Wings need him too, but I need him to have something entertaining to watch. But yeah, that's all I got. I don't have anything.
I'm good.
You good? All right. Thanks for checking us out on a Monday. If you would like, subscribe, hit the bell. It helps us out.
Algorithm.
Yeah, he likes the algorithm. Yeah, we'd appreciate it if you would do that. If 2 videos a week isn't enough for you, you can check us out on wingscast.com.
Questions too, right?
Yeah, questions. Any questions you got?
Anything?
Yeah, just throw it on the website. Come check us out. Bunch of people are always talking Wings hockey over there. So that's all I got. Have a good week.
Have a good one.